I know I should have had this video out much sooner, but to be honest, I've been hungover since the debate. Not on alcohol, on straight up depression. Carry me through, Candle. Yeah, the first debate between Biden and Trump was a chaotic mess, and regardless of who you believe the winner to be, I think we can all agree on who the loser is. America. I watched the entire debate, and there were certainly times I felt both candidates were equally matched. Biden really surprised me. He came across much more coherent than I was expecting, and he ended up shattering the Republican narrative, if you will, that he was just some incoherent, babbling old man. Biden also took a unique strategy to combat Trump, and I don't actually think Trump was expecting it. Trump didn't do anything differently, which would have helped him a lot. He came with the same aggressive tone, hurling insults at Biden. Trump's strategy also focused on pointing out some of Biden's hypocrisies. For example, he grilled Biden on the crime bill, and he tried to paint him as a hypocrite for his approach to healthcare. This worked at times, and I appreciate Trump bringing up the crime bill. That was a pretty good one, but when Trump didn't have hypocrisy to point out, he sort of just depleted into mostly insults and aggression. I understand that's Trump's thing, but it didn't serve him as well in this debate as previous ones. For example, Trump continuously battled with Chris Wallace, the debate moderator, which was highly unprofessional, and the Trump campaign already agreed to the rules Wallace was attempting to enforce. I got the vibe that Trump's ego was still hurt after Wallace fact-checked him during a previous Fox News interview, but either way, Trump interrupted a lot more than Biden. That's literally just a fact. Now, as a former die-hard Trump supporter, as a former literally magatard, I totally recognize how Trump supporters will view Trump as the winner. He came across like a loud, strong bully, at times just rolling over Biden. And this is what Trump supporters expect, so I don't think Trump's mediocre debate performance will change any of their minds. But the goal of these debates is not to appeal to your base, but rather undecided voters. When you look at it from that context, I don't think Trump won this debate. So I suppose that makes Biden the winner by default? But Biden did not do all that great either. Both their performances were at times mediocre, and none of them got a slam dunk on each other. In 2016, Trump got the infamous slam dunk on Hillary Clinton when he told her she would be in prison if he were in charge of the law. Hilarious, but there were no slam dunks in this debate. Both candidates put up a really good fight, and according to a CBS poll, Biden won this debate with 48% saying Biden won and 41% saying Trump won. These numbers are comparable to Biden's current lead in the national polls, but the numbers also prove what I said earlier. Trump supporters still like Trump, Biden supporters still like Biden. At least they're still voting for Biden, because no one really likes Biden. Most debate viewers said that the debate made them feel annoyed. 69%, cool number, right? And only 17% said they felt informed. This is definitely sad, or at least disappointing, because the point of these debates is to inform America, not to annoy America. Biden was able to convince more of those in his party that he was the winner of the first debate than Mr. Trump was able to convince people in his party. 92% of Democrats who watched say he won, compared to 82% of Republicans who say Mr. Trump won. 13% of Republicans called the debate a draw, although independents gave Mr. Trump the edge. As I mentioned previously, Biden took a unique approach. Rather than constantly engaging with Trump's insults and comments, Biden ignored Trump and instead spoke directly to the American people. I didn't expect this, and I don't think Trump did either, because there were times that Biden was trying to speak and he just pushed on despite Trump's comments, almost like a wall was up and Trump's insults were useless. Of course, Biden engaged at times, calling Trump the worst president, among other insults, but Biden largely focused on talking to the American people, almost making Trump look like this annoying mosquito on the side, refusing to just stop talking. Biden also did this thing where he talked about Trump to the American people as if Trump wasn't even there, calling him a clown, grilling him on the COVID response, and bringing up some lies.
He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was happening, knew how dangerous it was going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked or he just looked at the stock market, one of the two, because guess what? A lot of people died.
Most of the time, these criticisms were brought up as if Biden was just talking to you and explaining his perspective rather than letting Trump control the debate stage. For comparison, look at how Jeb Bush reacted to Trump during the 2015 debate as opposed to Biden.
Maybe it works for Hillary Clinton. It doesn't work
Jeff,
for anybody on this stage.
I was a businessman. I got along with Clinton. I got along with everybody.
Yeah.
That was my job, to get along with people.
But the simple fact is...
Excuse me. 1 second.
No.
I didn't want to...
The simple fact is, Donald, you cannot take...
More energy tonight. I like that. Look.
I was asked the question.
I didn't want... It was my obligation as a businessman to my family, to my company, to my employees, to get along with all politicians. I got along with all of them.
Trump and Jeb would begin arguing, but as Trump was responding, Jeb was honed in, hanging on every word Trump was saying. He was hyper fixated on Trump, which is what Trump wants. That's how he controls the debate stage. But Biden didn't let Trump do that this time. Biden's attempt to ignore Trump made Trump feel powerless, and I think that's why he got increasingly more and more aggressive as the debate went on. Of course, to the people who already don't like Trump, that makes Trump look bad, like an obnoxious bully who just won't shut up. But to the people who like Trump, they'll see it as a sign of strength, even though I'd have to disagree with that take. I don't think Biden had any major gaffes this time, and his strategy worked okay, but he definitely could have been better. Biden still felt low energy, and he didn't always articulate his ideas very well. He stuttered a lot less than I was expecting, but I think Biden will need to step up his game for the next debate. Trump is quick and witty. He's good at making insults on the fly and giving his opponent a rough time, and Biden's attempt to ignore him worked well, but when he did engage, at times he came across like a flustered parent who just wanted to get a word in. As far as Trump goes, I think his biggest gaffe was near the end when he sort of refused to condemn white supremacist groups.
Are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they need to stand down and not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
Sure,
are you
I'm
prepared
to do
specifically
that, but
do it?
Well, go ahead, sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right wing.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name.
supremacists and
Who would
white
you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem.
Now, of course, Trump fans are bringing up the fact Trump replied, sure, when asked if he'd be willing to condemn white supremacist militia groups. But when he was asked a second time, it was obvious he choked. He asked for a name, and when given the name of a white supremacist militia group, the Proud Boys, he instead told them to stand back and stand by, as if he may need those guys standing by in case. This is what Trump does a lot. He'll partially say he'll do it by responding sure when asked if he would, but when he's given more specifics, he backtracks. This is almost like gaslighting, because you have Trump fans taking what they want to hear, and then you have Biden voters taking what they want to hear. In reality, Trump should have come down harder on these white supremacist groups, and the fact he didn't really condemn them swiftly, especially after he was given a name he asked for, hurt Trump badly. It's also bad he jumped to condemning Antifa when asked to condemn white supremacists. Like, Antifa is lame, and there's room to criticize them, but bringing up Antifa as a counter to white supremacists isn't an argument, it's a blatant pivot. I don't know if Trump's refusal to swiftly condemn white supremacist groups by name is because he knows he has those people in his base, or if it stems from his desire to just not conform. Trump strikes me as the type of person who'd be less likely to do something just because he was told to do it. Regardless, the President of the United States should be able to condemn these terrorist groups without sweating and hesitating. So whereas Biden's overall performance could have been better, Trump had more isolated gaffes, and this was certainly his biggest one. Trump's words have already been used to embolden these violent far-right groups as well, and you can't really claim to support peace and unity and in the next breath tell your far-right fans to stand back and stand by. It's not the swift condemnation that was needed, and I think overall it was Trump's biggest slip-up. All in all, this debate was a train wreck, full of insults, interrupting, and Trump arguing with the moderator. Apparently the debate was so bad, the next debate will give the mods the ability to cut Trump or Biden's mic if they break the time limit rules. This is like a Discord debate on national television. The first debate has proven this is going to be a tight election. Biden and Trump may be better matched than initially thought, and despite Biden's current lead in the polls, it's not that significant of a lead, and everyone knows not to underestimate Trump after the polls predicted a loss for him in 2016. I think Biden and Trump put up a good fight, but they both need to step up their game if they want to reach the undecided voters. But there you guys have it. Those are my thoughts on the first debate between Biden and Trump. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Please give this video a like, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you all soon. Peace.